I'm Dr. Robin Lincoln Wood of Renaissance2. My and the observations of others involved in Renaissance2 and the WorldShift Alliance have led us to believe that if we wish to survive as a species and meet the 10-year deadline of 2020 that looms before us, we have no choice but to mobilize on a massive scale.
The human species is panicking because it's going to run out of its fossil fuels. Its climate, its waters are breaking. We're going to be inundated. And we're not prepared for it. So there's fear like a newborn baby.
What do we have to do in order to have a global shift and to focus on those change levers so there can be a universal understanding of what needs to happen?
We have never seen the emerging world. We've seen the world that's dying, but we have not seen the world that's being born in our midst, partially due to the crisis and partially due to the genius of humanity to create.
Well, the key focus of this conference was a call to action. We were saying to people, look, it's all very well having all these capabilities, technologies, processes, and resources that we have today. But unless we focus them with a laser beam on the absolutely essential things that we have to do to make it through in the next decade, we're going to fail as a civilization.
A big part of Renaissance2's mission is to catalyze social innovation that leads to a renewable and thriving civilization.
We have a phrase, we scan for, map, connect, and communicate that which is working for coherent mobilization for action.
In the WorldShift room, you scan for innovation, success, breakthrough at any scale, in every field.
We talk about bringing business genius to global emergencies and new opportunities. That's what Renaissance2 does. And to do that, to transition ourselves, our organization, and our species through this great shift over the next few decades, we're going to have to mobilize the largest coordinated series of campaigns in human history, right around the planet.
This event now has come in as the first Great Shift Gathering. And the biggest thing that we've understood is that business has a crucial role to play in the future. Business, be it small enterprises, medium, multinationals, is now the largest type of organization on the planet, spanning countries, and as the dominant organization form has an absolutely vital role to play as we move forwards.
Because entrepreneurship, creative entrepreneurship with an evolutionary purpose is probably the most capable of being an agent of evolution on this planet.
It's being done in a very 21st century way. That's why we call it the second Renaissance, because we're harnessing not only individual genius, but the collective genius of groups of people with great diversity of different ecosystems of capabilities that can make things happen.
I became convinced that there were several key differences that made this a new event. For one thing, Robin made one statement that I had never heard before in quite the same way. He said, the emergency on the planet is also an interconnected series of business opportunities of enormous scale.
To build on what's working and what people are already co-creating in order to accelerate what needs to happen in the next decade.
Focus on what really needs to be done and why, and how we can leverage and mobilize and focus our resources in such a way to facilitate emergence, because I think that's the key issue.
I think it's critical. If we're going to shift anything in our broader world, the challenges we face today, we need a new approach for working together towards a common purpose that gets around the ecosystems we see currently and shifts us towards something that is more responsive to the challenges we face, can deal with complexity.
And that's the role of Renaissance2, to act as a connector, to act as a catalyst for social innovation that will lead to a renewable and resilient civilization.
And this networking with networks, this mesh work, this big, big, big tent of committed change agents, that also inspired me. And then the people who are involved, that was also a huge source of inspiration. In the end, I felt honored, and it's been a completely compelling 5 days in which enormously talented, well-connected, effective, people of tremendous intelligence and goodwill have found common ground in a way that I had only hoped for beforehand.
My name's Madeleine Marentet, and I'm here at the WorldShift in France. Happy to be here representing Grail Springs. And our message that we're bringing here today is the message of the importance of the correlation, or understanding the correlation of the health of the planet, the health of the human being, and the health of the cell.
Well, I'm Kathy G, and I come from England, and I work with emergent leaders in the cultural and heritage sectors.
I'm Claire Gaudry, and I'm here representing the International Brain Education Association, otherwise known as IBREA.
I'm David Wolfson from Toronto, Canada. I have been working with Ervin Laszlo in the Club of Budapest for over 10 years.
I'm really an academic masquerading as a consultant activist. So I guess I'm a mind in search of solutions to very complex problems. So now I'm interested in an alliance, for sure, a global alliance. How do we put together the 6.7 billion Earthlings? And where are the models for managing that diversity and that complexity in the context of major change?
It's about you contributing your awareness, your attention, your life energy, and your commitment to something bigger than yourself. And this is a chance for us to enact that together and to become a coherent field.
It's not a neutral universe. There's a tendency in the universe for that which is innovative to connect most specifically at times of crisis.
It moves on from a state of global emergency but into a promise of hope, that there is hope. If we can collectively and consciously by 2012 decide that we want a sustainable future, then we can actually do it.
I see this event as really just one of many events, but it has some special importance. We created the WorldShift Alliance. We co-created the WorldShift Alliance together here in Perpignan in October 2009.
By co-founding the WorldShift Alliance with the Foundation for Conscious Evolution in WorldShift 2012, we've actually demonstrated, even this week in this event, this massively successful event, just how we can mobilize human inspiration, energy, and genius.
I'm going to take away a greater confidence in the fact that we are doing much of what we say we are doing.
And we embrace that responsibility, and through embracing that responsibility we find our own liberation from our own ego, and then life could not be better, even when it's very challenging.
This is the conferences that in every city around the world we have people saying, I want to take Renaissance2 into my city. I want to take what you're doing in those crucibles into my city, into our businesses, into our NGOs, into our government and our culture. That's saying that we have the seeds here of a whole new future.
I would say the poetic goal of the WorldShift Alliance is a planetary birth experience by 2012. That would mean a sufficient amount of coherence and connectiveness that we could feel we could take our first coordinated breath on this planet. That we have the energy, the food, and the resources to make it through the crisis together, such that we can begin to approach an unknown future. It's certainly not that we will have solved everything, but if we can coordinate enough to know we can make it through, there's nothing to stop humanity. And we can have a moment of celebration, just as you do when a baby is born and opens its eyes for the first time.